Hello there. Welcome to our now fully ingrained ICAN on Air Enlightenment series. In the episode today, we examine the subject, cybersecurity, what professional accountants must know and do. We accountants are settled on the established knowledge that an increase in cyber attacks has been reported globally. According to Nexus Guard, a cybersecurity company, in the first half of 2021, a distributed denial of service on a malicious targeted attempt to disrupt traffic to a particular server and its service nature networks increased by 233%. Yes, you heard that right. 233%. It further reported that hackers used new attack patterns that can cripple communication service providers and internet service providers without being detected by signature-based methods. Joining me in a question and answer portion to in-depth our understanding of this subject is Mr. Tope Aladenusi B.Sc CISA, CISSP, CIA, CEH, CRISC, CBI. He is currently the risk advisory leader of Deloitte West Africa. He has provided technology assurance and advisory services to over 30% of companies quoted on Nigeria Stock Exchange and 85% of the commercial banks in Nigeria. In other words, I'm saying 30% of companies quoted on stock exchange and has also provided advisory services to 85% of the commercial banks in Nigeria. He has served 75% of GSM companies in Nigeria, several multinational manufacturing, oil and gas companies, as well as government institutions. He worked in Nigeria, he worked in Ghana, he worked in Togo, he worked in Cameroon, he worked in South Africa and the United Kingdom, and has also serviced high-class clients in 16 countries of our world. More to unveil on our esteemed guest shortly. Also in this outing of ICAN on Air, we have a few announcements that should be of interest, not just to professionals and students of accounting, students of ICAN, and friends of the profession, as well as diary of events. You want to stay plugged? You want to stay connected? We shall be back with you very shortly.
Hi there. Are you still thinking about why you should register for the 4th ICAN Malaysia International Accountants Conference? It's okay. The conference focus this year is specifically targeted at ensuring that all delegates become future ready and fully equipped to navigate the current times. There are also a lot of insights and discoveries that await you at this year's conference. You also get the chance to experience both the personal and professional impacts of the conference. What about the networking, the tour experience, and lots of engaging interactions to bring you an all-round value? So there's no more time left for thinking. You have got to take action now. So register today and join other professionals at the 4th ICAN Malaysia International Accountants Conference from the 16th to the 19th of May 2022 at the Adia Hotel Kedah, Langkawi. For more information, please visit www.ican-malaysia.org. See you there.
You are welcome back, and please join me to welcome Tope Aladenusi to ICAN on Air. Mr. Aladenusi, you are welcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
And in this age, moment and times of attacks, left, right, and center, we're looking at what professional accountants must know and do about cybersecurity, which is at the roots of the attacks to affect business concern, for them to continue as a growing concern. I like to frame it so that our listeners, our students who are listening, and our business professionals can gain from, like by starting this way. What is cybersecurity and why is it a concern?
All right, thank you so much. That's a very good way to start because many times uh, those people who are not in the IT profession, they always wonder, what is my business with cybersecurity? And as accountants, I'm sure some may be wondering, what do I have to do with cybersecurity? I'm an accountant, but the reason why we are discussing this is because the world has changed. Things have evolved. We've now gone digital. Almost everything that we do, we are heavily reliant on information technology. A very simple example is what we are doing right now. We are using technology to reach out to members of ICANN. This is something maybe in the past we could have met somewhere, maybe in one of your buildings, or meet in person, but we are relying on technology to be able to do this broadcast. Now, not just this, everything that we do today, there is that heavy reliance on technology, from your accounting packages, accounting processes. The time that we used to do things maybe manually, those days are over. Even though it's Excel, Microsoft Excel you are using, as small as it is, you are relying on technology. Then to your payments, accountants deal with payments a lot. At the end of the day, it boils down to how much do we have, the debit and the credit, you know. That's which is done using the computers, communication, everything we do right now. In fact, the day you would know that your life is heavily dependent on computer is maybe you forget your phone at home. I don't know if that's happened to you, Mr. Akin, whereby you basically you forgot your phone, and then you realize that it appears okay, you are not coordinated, everything is not okay because that your phone, which is a mini computer, you are heavily reliant on it. And so our lives, our world is largely IT driven. And so because of that, every time there is a new level, we always say there is a new devil. In other words, the new technology, they come with their own associated problems. They come with their own vulnerabilities. They come with their own weaknesses. They come with the downside. So it's just like in life, everything that has advantages come with some set of challenges. So the same way, because we are now heavily reliant on computer, it comes with these challenges, and that's where cybersecurity comes into place. It's like saying you're driving by road, and because you drive by road, how do you drive safely? If you are not driving by road, you could probably not talk about driving safely. If you want to fly by air, you talk about how do you fly safely. And now if you want to use computers, how do you use computers safely? So cybersecurity is simply the practice and the techniques for protecting critical systems and sensitive information from digital threats, from cyber attacks. So you're trying to protect your systems, protect yourselves, protect your data, protect your information from threats, from cyber attack. And this include things like not making sure that the wrong set of people don't have access to your systems. For instance, if you're an organization, you don't want your data, your financial records to be on the internet. So you want only authorized people to have access to your systems. You want to be sure that you can trust the system, you can trust the data. If you left it as 10 billion naira, when you come back, it's not 10.5 billion naira. Nothing has manipulated, and you want the systems that they are there, they are available, so nobody has hijacked it from you such that you cannot have access to it. So the process of and the technique of protecting the systems such that you're able to work with it, you're able to rely on it, and you're able to ensure that only the right people have the right access to it. That is what we're talking about cybersecurity.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. In fact, Mr. Aladenusi, I liked the example you gave. You forgot your phone at home, you are jittery. You are lucky you can always get back home and pick that. In situations where your phone is stolen, uh, the whole of your head now begins to swing. It will be debit, it will be credit, like you said, and it will be
Hmm.
the incomplete aspects of neither credit, neither debit. Where do we go from here? Thank you very much for that. And so takes me to cyber attacks. What are cyber attacks? Who are these attackers? And why do they attack?
Hmm. Okay, good question. Cyber attack, who are these attackers and why do they attack? So a cyber attack, although it sounds very hard, attack, but it's just simply an uninvited attempt, to steal, to expose, or to destroy maybe information by gaining unauthorized access to it. So, there's an uninvited attempt to somebody's systems, maybe somebody's data, somebody's information, either to steal it, to expose it, to destroy it, and you do that by gaining unauthorized access to it. Now,
Mm,
who are the attackers? The attackers are people, individuals. It could be individuals, it could be a group of persons. It could, like, for instance, somebody can decide to say, I want to have access to a company where you work as an accountant, and I want to be able to steal from that company. And I will share some examples of I've seen live in our country of how that works. That is individuals. Then we have a group of people. Sometimes we have coordinated, like, syndicates whereby they work together, and that is their profession. They wake up
mm,
every morning, they go to work, and they are trying to defraud people, trying to have access to people to
mm,
attack them.
mm,
And it
mm,
could also be like a group of people that are even at national level. For instance, the current Ukraine and Russia war. Do you know that both countries had to go offensive in cyber? So as they are fighting on the ground, they are also fighting in cyberspace. And
mm,
some of the hackers, like the popular hackers like Anonymous and the rest, in a bid to show solidarity with Ukraine, they were attacking Russia and trying to
mm,
attack them, attack their systems and their IT infrastructure. So that's a group of people, doing it for a particular cause. So you say,
mm,
and I think that leads me to the next part of the question you actually ask, why do they attack? There are different motives. The very common motive because of crime. People are looking for money. People are hungry. People want fast money. People want cheap money. And even people who are not hungry, they want to just sit down in the comfort of their homes and make money from a lot of people.
mm,
For instance, there are some attacks where somebody can attack an organization and take large sum of money, but there are some whereby you can decide to take, let me say, one naira or 2 naira from everybody, and you take 2 naira from 100 million people in a
mm,
day. That's 200 million naira. Sir, if somebody take 2 naira from your account, will you raise an eyebrow? You won't raise an eyebrow because that's too small. But if you multiply 2 times 100 million, that's 200 million in one day. And we've seen that kind of attack. It's so the first motive, that, or the common motive, right, not the first, is crime. Then there's also the motive of political motives. For instance, during the
protest.
NSAS campaign protest, we had people, other countries and other hackers, trying to do solidarity with the NSAS protesters, and they were attacking our government infrastructure, trying to
Mm,
break into those infrastructure as a way of showing solidarity. So that's a political move. You hear sometimes Russia, China, US accusing one another of attacking their platform. So it could
mm,
also be a means of war, a means of warfare. The next I wrote an article some years ago, maybe about 8 years ago, and I said that the next world war will take place online. The next set of cyber terrorism, next set of terrorism will take place online. Think
mm,
about
mm,
what do you need to do to fight, to terrorize a particular nation. Just
mm,
go online, stop the power grid, stop the water grid, stop the water, stop every key infrastructure, and you've killed that economy. You've grounded them.
mm,
So there are several motives, and there's also the motive of just personal motive, just for fun. Some people just
mm,
do it to just show their skills. So
mm.
these are the various reasons why people attack. Yeah.
Hmm. Fantastic. And cyber terrorism is here. It's at the background, not just in Nigeria, just like you said, Russia and Ukraine war. And I know between China and the US, at the end of the Cold War, China coming into it, it's now becoming very, very prominent. Thank you very much for those insights. Now, Mr. Tope, I like to draw you down a bit more so that we can get into how these conventional modes of attacks, and I ask the conventional modes of attack against accountants or data centric firms, what are they? How do they happen? Can you give us specific examples?
Hmm. All right, I can, and I think that's since we are talking to accountant, I think it's good for us to narrow it down. First, I'd like to say that it is good for accountants to know that globally they are among the top targets by cyber criminals. So if you are to list professions that are heavily attacked, I'm sure accountants will fall in the top three. You know,
Hmm,
you know that. So it's a profession whereby if you're in that profession, you are under, you're likely to be under high cyber attack, and so it's good for you to know. And I will explain why. The reason is very simple. You are dealing with money. You touch money. Many of the number one motive, like we discussed earlier on, why we have cyber attack is because of crime, and
hmm,
many times financial crime. And accountants are always, dealing with the debit and credit, the naira, the dollars, and so they are prime targets by cyber um, attackers. Now, what are some of the modes with which these attackers go about it? There's what we call social engineering scams, whereby you use you know you use human means to trick people to divulge sensitive information. I'm just
hmm,
trying to use a very layman way to describe it. For instance, let me tell you what that means. Um, there was a time whereby if attackers want to attack people, they try to hack them. But if I try to hack you, it may take me 3 weeks, it may take me 2 weeks or 1 month to hack you. But I can send you a fake email or a fake SMS, and mistakenly divulge sensitive information because of that, such that what it would have taken me 3 weeks to get, I got it in 3 minutes because you
hmm,
fell down for it. And so, because a lot of people fall for social engineering attack, is now very rampant. Whereby I'm sure most of us have received emails. There are things like phishing, like vishing, smishing. I'm talking about SMS, voice calls, emails, trying to attack people. Then we
hmm,
have things like ransomware. Ransomware is becoming very common. A ransomware is a malicious program that, if it runs on your computer, it encrypts your computer, it kind of locks your computer, and then it asks you to pay certain ransom, many times in Bitcoin, before your computer is released to you. Now, this is becoming very common. I've seen a particular organization whereby their entire accounting system was was attacked by ransomware. And all you
hmm,
just need to do many times is to click a link. They send you an email, you click a link, and as you click that link, it's it can run that program. It's like cyber kidnapping. It kidnaps your entire system, and then you cannot have access to it. Then we
hmm,
have malicious insiders, One way they attack, counter attack is through people that you work with. I've
Mm,
seen it. I've been in an organization whereby we were doing an investigation, and then we realized that the way they got into the system was through, the head of the unit was typing a password, and one intern looked at our our fingers and the keystrokes, and was able to get the password. And we logged on into our system, approved transaction, and then it went through. So being able to sometimes accidental or malicious insiders. This is one way attacker accountants, one questionable modes with which accountants can be attacked. Then of course, sometimes it's through the third parties. Everybody's reliant on third parties these days. You need third parties to give internet access. You need third party maybe for data storage. You need third parties for several things. Cloud, we hear cloud, all these things. Sometimes you may be so safe, but the third party is not as secure. And then you expose yourself to the vulnerability that they are also exposed to. So these are some of the methods, very common methods that I use to attack accountants. Thank you,
mm.
sir.
Fantastic, fantastic. Um, um, I will move a bit and talk about regulations because whether cybersecurity, whether any aspect of our lives, the aspect of regulation comes as a part of things that at least help us, to mitigate.
Mm.
And I'd like to ask you, how does data security privacy related regulations affect we accountants or accounting firms? How does that happen?
Okay, so as accountants, we need to be very mindful, and at least something we do. If you're an accountant, you need to be aware of all the um, accounting standards. And
Yes.
so I'm sure every accountant, this is something that is part of them. Accounting standards. You want to know the IFRS, you want to know the national accounting standards so that you can comply. But now, because you work in a cyber world, there are also standards that are not just accounting, but they affect you. You give an example
Mm,
of the Data Protection Act. For instance, data protection regulation. Nigeria has a data protection regulation that was released by NITDA, National Information Technology Development Agency, and that regulation stipulates how you should handle PII. We call it PII, personal identifiable information. For instance, things like your name, your date of birth, things that can identify somebody. Any set of information, your address that can identify somebody, they are called the personal identifiable information. Now,
mm,
as accountants, we need to be aware of these regulations because every time you are dealing with companies, you are dealing with people, you are making payments to them. When you want to make payment to them, you ask for their name, you ask for their address, you ask for their bank account details. So you ask for enough information to identify them. And
mm,
because you have those information, there are regulations that says this is how you should collect the information. This is how
mm,
you should store the information. And this is how
mm,
you should transmit the information. And many times people are not aware. So the data at rest and the data at transit, we're not particular about the regulation, how we go about them, and we're just doing things the way we think it should be done, and we're violating. And just recently, the NITDA fined a particular company some millions of naira for not complying with that regulation. So this is one regulation that has to do with data protection that accountants need to be aware of. And of course, the Cybercrime Act 2015 of Nigeria that was released some years ago. There are things
mm,
there regarding how you should treat information, how you should treat confidential information, and even if you've been attacked, if you have a cyber attack, how you should, even report it to the regulators. These are things that we need to know as accountants, and also those that are, charged with the governance of IT in our respective organizations.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That is beautiful. That's very beautiful. And in other words, management protection of information is key from the perspective of regulation. And I'd like to ask you, What can professional accountants do to maintain a cyber secured culture, a cyber secured habit, or some cyber secured consciousness? What will you be prescribing?
Okay, I think that's a very good one. What can we do to protect ourselves? First of all, you need to know that you are constantly under attack. The knowledge that you're under attack, I'm not trying to scare, but I'm just saying it based on experience. I give you an example. There was an oil company once that we did some work for. The accountant, mistakenly um, got an email saying, please find attached the invoice for processing. Now, if you're an accountant and you see, please find attached the invoice for processing, more likely than not, you will click that link.
Mm,
And he clicked on the link, and a malicious program ran in the
mm,
system. And
mm,
that was the entry point for the attacker. So
mm,
it may look like an Excel sheet, but that Excel sheet has an embedded program, or maybe a PDF as an embedded program. So if you are not aware of this, you just realize that you do things, you just see a link and then you click. I give you another example that I saw recently after I was doing an investigation. An accountant, a financial controller, was transacting with a company abroad. And when it was time to pay, they got an invoice and they processed it. After they processed it, the company now came back and said, we've not received the money. Say, but we have paid you. It's okay. What's the address of payment? And they sent it. They realized that they paid to a wrong account. How did it
mm,
happen? They attacked the cyber criminals attacked their business partner in that country, hijacked their email, and sent an invoice to this company. When they were sending the invoice, they changed used the same letter-headed paper that would ordinarily be used, and they changed the account number and sent the invoice, and so they paid the wrong person. Now that was a very tactical way to deceive the accountant here, and so that how would you have known that the email has been hijacked? Of course, by trying to use seeing the account number that it has changed, maybe you should have put them on inquiry if they have some other controls in-house regarding change of account
mm,
number.
mm,
But
mm,
the point I'm trying to make in essence here is that we should have this mind, this we should know that because we're accountants, we're dealing with finances, we are we are highly susceptible, we are under attack. So first of all, be aware, don't take it for lightly. Don't see cybersecurity is not an IT issue, it's a business issue, and because you're a business person, you're dealing with debit and credit, naira and dollars and pounds. You are under attack. So what you need to do is to make sure that you are aware, you are abreast of some of these techniques that they use. Then also ensure you install the right softwares, anti-malware software, antivirus
mm,
software in your systems, so that and make sure that they are updated regularly. It's one thing for them to be installed, it's another thing for them to be updated. So make sure that those things they are updated. Have a strong password. Don't password like 1234, Jesus is Lord. Those passwords are easily guessable. There are software that will crack those passwords within 1 minute.
mm,
So have a combination of maybe a password that you don't even have vowels in them, and then you have numbers, alphanumeric, you know, length at least 8 characters. It looks very simple, but I can tell you that it helps, to protect you. Then your accounting package, make sure those accounting softwares that we use the most recent version. The infrastructure they sit on are the most recent. Some people are still using Windows that are no longer supported by Microsoft to run their accounting package. And if an attacker gets that machine, it will break into it within
mm,
5 minutes or less.
mm,
So make
mm,
sure your accounting packages, the infrastructure, they are up to date, and there is tighten control. Who have access to admin on those packages? Are
mm,
there proper segregation of duties on those systems? Are there good access controls? It's good to have all these things so that we protect ourselves and our organizations.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. It becomes a way of life. So it goes beyond what we are taught at the rudimentary level of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria to not just be accurate, but also look at the integrity aspect. It has to be a habit, it has to be a consciousness, it has to be a culture. No chance for assuming. A simple assumption might cost us more than dearly. Now, Mr. Aladenusi, certainly there will be some current cybersecurity trends that should be of direct relevance to accountants. You may want to share some of this from your wealth of knowledge with us.
Okay, yes, I can share a few. I've already touched on some. I can add some. Um, one trend is the risk with remote working. Almost most people are working remotely now, and when you work remotely, the kind of security within in some organizations in the past. This is the way it worked. In the past, people worked within the office. And so security was built such that you are in an office and then they secure that office. But now you have gone home. Like, how would they secure your house? So the game has changed. So now by working from home or working from anywhere, you you have kind of extended your company's network to that place. So there are risks with working remotely, apart
Mm,
from even cyber attack. The fact that you are dealing with information, you are making calls, people around can be hearing that, oh, you are talking some good money in your conversation. Those are risks that you've been exposed to. So I
mm,
think we need to be very mindful of the fact that remote working presents some new risk. Sometimes some of the people, the kind of systems they are using does not comply with their company's security policies. They are exposed. Sometimes people leave their laptops unattended to, and it doesn't lock the screen, and they walk away. Those are things that these are some of the latest trends with COVID-19 coming, impacting our world. Then,
mm,
of course, we've seen the rise of ransomware, whereby I talked about cyber kidnapping earlier on, where you get a mail or you get a malicious link and you mistakenly click it, and as you click it, it now runs a program into your system, and encrypts your system. Just recently, we heard, was it last week or so, one of the popular betting organizations in Nigeria, they suffered a major cyber attack, similar to this. The
mm,
systems we are taking over. So these are things that we need to be very mindful of, and of course, social engineering, which I discussed earlier on. This is one cheap way I've seen cyber criminals attack accountants, just sending that fake email, that
mm,
um,
mm,
fake
mm.
SMS, and sometimes calling you to try to get sensitive information from you. These are some of the ways we have the trends that we have seen of recent. Thank you.
Awesome points. Awesome points. And I know Mr. Olusoji Shosanwolu is asking, how best can we effectively protect our data in line with global best practices?
Okay, very good question. How do you protect your data? The first thing is thou shalt know your data. You cannot protect what you do not know. You see, I've been in this for some time, and I realized that one of the basic things that people should do and they don't do is that they don't even have an inventory of all their data. As an organization, you need to know what are your critical information, what are your critical data. You need to have an inventory of all your key data and the systems that houses them, the systems that transmit them. And for instance, you are an organization and customers come to register with you. Maybe they register before you do business with them. At the point of registration, they fill a form. That form is captured somewhere. Then maybe somebody imputes it. That system that is imputing it, that's where the data capture takes place. Then maybe it's a system. It's transmitted through a network. Then it goes sit down in a server. That server is something. So you need to know your data, the data flows, and you need to know where they are sitting. See, one of the issues we have in Nigeria today is that we have major security issue. And you know the reason why? Because
mm,
we don't know who is in Nigeria. One of the major tenet of security is thou shalt know thy assets. If you see somebody in Brunei, if you claim to be Nigerian, how do you verify that? We don't have a database, a catalog of every Nigerian,
mm,
comprehensive as we speak right
mm,
now. And
mm,
that is a major gap for us. The same way in cyber, do you have a catalog, a repository of all your data and all
mm,
the systems that houses that data?
mm,
Once you know that, then you then do a risk assessment to say, okay, what are the risks I am exposed to? What are the risks I'm
mm,
exposed to? Because every every uh, every organization have different risk exposure. If you're an oil company, your risk is different from if you're a betting company. If you're a bank, your risk is different from if you're from a small business. So note the risks you are exposed to, and then based on the risks you are exposed to, what are the mitigating measures you need to put in place? Usually, they fall around three or four things: governance, you need to put a structure around it, governance, oversight, people. You need to have the right skills. We always say in Deloitte that that you need the right skills because many times people always invest in technology, but technology on their own cannot protect us. It's people that protect us. So people just keep buying antivirus, buying firewalls, buying stops. But those things they are as foolish as whoever, and they are smart as or foolish as whoever is configuring them.
mm,
So have the right set of people in supporting you, then the right set of technology and tools, and of course processes in place are, sorry, I've not been make moving. Okay, so processes that will help you. So these are some of the things you put in place. Have the right experts that will help you to assess your systems. And once you've done this, once in a while, get somebody, an external person, to come and assess you. The same way you go for audit, internal audit and external audit, to know
mm,
how well you are doing. We
mm,
always say that the nose does not smell its own odor. So get someone to
mm,
come and smell your system. Do ethical hacking on your system.
mm.
Making sure that you assess the security you've put in place, check for weaknesses, and try to combat them. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's not just my word. Mr. Oshidare earlier talked about excellent delivery, and I can't agree any less. So your nose cannot smell your S word, so also your eyes cannot see the spittle that forms on it early in the morning. It's been a buzzword. It's called phishing. Can you explain what it is? And in what ways can we identify it as an attack and how we can stay safe from it? Phishing.
Mm. Yeah, I know I've mentioned fishing a lot today. So that's actually is a good that you brought me to actually define it. So phishing is a cyber crime in which a target or targets are sent messages, usually via email, and somebody is posing to be a legitimate institution or a legitimate person, trying to lure the individual either to provide sensitive information like their personal information, their banking details, their password, or to perform an action that will benefit whoever is sending that mail. And Nigeria is known as in the world maybe number one or two globally for this. There's even called the Nigerian scam. When I travel out of the country, and recently, I was in the US and I was in a conference, and people were they were asking me about the popular Nigerian scam, where people just send emails to you. And the reason why people fall for this is because people are greedy. Sometimes they will tell you
Mm,
that somebody died and the person left some fortunes. He wants to help you. They want to see how to get the money out, or it could be a threat that, oh, check, if you don't click on this now, your account will be disabled within 24 hours. So these are some of the mails. I believe if you are in Nigeria, you must have gotten a number of those emails. And I
super.
give example of oil company that was attacked, through that. Please find out the invoice, and that invoice contain malicious that attachment contains some malicious program. So how do you identify them? First of all, look at the emails. When you receive an email, if it's not a person that you know and a name that you know, be very suspicious, be very sorry, not suspicious, be very
Be
cautious,
very wary and cautious. Yes.
cautious, cautious in the way you approach it. Then also, even though it's person, even though it's someone that you know, as long as the the content looks a bit tricky, just be cautious. I'll give you an example. I can like when we have this icon on air, I can put icon and air. Instead of O, I put A, icon and air.
Mm,
And because I know ICAN on Air sends mail to people, use ICAN and Air to send me. Most people, when they see ICAN and Air, they will not take note that it's different and they will
mm,
process the information. So
mm,
being sensitive, looking at, when you receive, a mail, just check, you know. Then when things are too good to be true,
mm,
you are going to win this amount of money. There is no free lunch even in Freetown. People just get a lot of people have punished themselves. We suffered loss because something was too good to be true. Somebody was promising them one big deal, one win, one lottery, one good deal. Be very careful. Then when there's a sense of urgency, do it now or else it will block you. And sometimes it's easy to fall for it. If you don't do it now, your account will be deactivated. Be careful. Then if there are hyperlinks, links in that email saying you should click something, it may be a phishing email, and of course attachment and an unusual sender. So what I would say is that when you see a mail, before you even open it, just try to verify the sender. Point your mouse to the
mm,
name. Sometimes the name
mm,
you are seeing is not the real name, it's just coded. By the time you point your mouse to it, the name at the background or the real name will show. Once you over your mouse over the name, it shows. So these are things you need to be careful about. Look at it, and then assess the mail in case it's a phishing email.
mm. Fantastic. I like to thank you. So let's go a bit to talk about skills. What skills do you think accountants require to become cybersecurity experts?
I think accountants should just be accountants. I realize
Ah,
accountants are doing everything now. They are going into IT, they are going into cyber, they are going into everything. I don't know how.
well,
Why?
we are skilled, we are disciplined, we take our time. Mr. President just mentioned it to the whole world. I'm talking about President Muhammadu Buhari, that he knows that ICAN, for you to go through the ICAN exams, the rigor, to learn all the skills, IT, to be very careful, to security and what have you. So
Mm,
we are
yeah.
ready to go in there. We are ready to go in there.
Yeah, I know. I've seen accountants gone into almost all kinds of fields and they do well. So that's a good one. But cybersecurity is quite tasking, but it's also very easy to get into. What you really need is
Mm,
interest, a desire
yeah.
to learn, a
Mm,
desire to learn.
mm,
And once you have that desire, you have problem solving skills, you have attention to details, then of course some good communication skills. You can go into cybersecurity. What you need to do is to learn the fundamental of computer. You cannot
mm,
secure what you don't understand. Just like in auditing, they will tell you that you cannot audit what you don't understand. The same thing with
mm,
cyber. You cannot
mm,
secure what you don't understand. So
mm,
do you understand computer? So if you want to go
mm,
into cybersecurity, go and understand the fundamentals of of computers. Understand hardware, understand
right.
software, understand
That's
network,
right.
understand program. Just have that fundamental understanding, and as you do that, then try to learn more about security. I would encourage accountants to go to security. Cybersecurity right now is a big thing in the world. As at last year, reports show that there are about 3.5 million cybersecurity vacancies globally, which means there are jobs, but there are no people to fill those jobs. 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs globally. And so it's a very lucrative place. It's big. It's like this is the right time to get into it. And anyone that's interested, especially those of us who even have children, encourage them. This will be big for the foreseeable future because we are all going online. So once you have that desire, commit time to it. Go online, go and learn. There are videos, materials that can help you. I think within a short time, and you can actually come up to speed.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Nice, nice tips. You just joining in for close to about 40 minutes. I've been fielding this subject of cybersecurity, what professional accountants must know and do. Guesting is Mr. Tope Aladenusi, a techie in the right sense of the word, and has been giving this to us. If you still have questions, please quickly put that across. Though time may not be our friend, and we are moving closer to ending this, I would want to ask. I know you've given us quite some tips, uh, maybe one or more. Accountants always ask for more, always raising the bar. What are the best tips to stay safe online when sending sensitive documents and information via email? I know you mentioned that. Are there any more that you want to share with us as we move to quotes?
Okay, I would say use you try to use different passwords for your official emails, official accounting packages, different from what you use generally on Yahoo, Gmail, and other things you do. Because I've seen instances whereby people are compromised online on one platform, and that password is used to compromise all their other platforms. So it's good for you to do that. Change your passwords regularly. Change your password regularly, maybe every 3 months, 2 months, as the case may be. And don't share your password with anyone. It's like your identity. Keep it to yourself. Be very careful when you want to click and open attachment.
Right.
It's important to be mindful of that. Um, Always keep your computer and your mobile devices up to date with
Mm,
the operating system. For instance, if you use Android or you use iOS, they will tell you that, oh, there is a latest version update. What they're saying is that we found some issues with the previous version. We fixed it. Now get the latest version. And whenever they do that, they publish it online to say, this was the issue we found, and this is how we have fixed it. Once they publish it, the attackers are already aware that that thing
mhm.
has vulnerability, and they're already taking advantage of it. And you that they want to help you are not updating. So
Oh,
make sure
fantastic.
whenever they come to you to say we have an update, you do you make sure you do those updates, and of course even your antivirus and the rest of them, make sure that they are up to date. And don't forget, avoid freebies. There is no free lunch even in Freetown. Many times the free things that we just download free things here and there, they are like Trojan. Embedded within them are things that will explode in the next one day, in the next 5 days, in the next one year, as the case may be. So avoid free things, and always keep up to date with latest trends. This is an evolving space. It's changing every year. So
Mm.
what I'm talking about now, by next year, maybe there are some new ways and new
Oh,
tricks.
yeah.
Make sure you are always updated. And I want to appreciate ICANN for what you have done. I think this is really really great. To also appreciate the ICANN Council has been led by the president, Mrs. Comfort Eitayo. I think it's a very great initiative. We should not take it lightly. That we're doing this, it is really necessary. It's a need to have. It's not a nice to have. And because we're doing this, I believe it's something you should do on a yearly basis. Because by next year, the the, the game has changed. These guys, they keep getting better. So we too must keep getting better. And I think with that, it will really help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, time not our friend. You can see my sister Ronke Adeagbo talking about silver bullet there. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Aladenusi. You can be sure that we are going to call on you. Any time we call on you to come and share more of your knowledge with us, you will oblige us. I'd like to also thank our online participants. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful. And we all would like to say to you, this is the new ICAN, same chapter, new chapters. Raising the bar for knowledge is our forte. A couple of information is gone on the screen. I like to emphasize one or two of them. The ICAN May 2022 professional exams will now hold between May 10 and 12, 2022. It was earlier scheduled for Tuesday, May 17 to Thursday, May 17, it's May 19, 2022. Like I said, it's going to now hold between Tuesday, May 10 and Thursday, May 12, 2022, due to unforeseen circumstances. Also, to say to our students and students who are already getting set for the 69th induction ceremony, it's now going to hold on May 24th and May 25th, 2022. It was earlier scheduled for May 9 and 10, 2022. Like I said, it is now going to hold from Tuesday, May 24 to Wednesday, May 25, 2022, at the ICAN Center, Plot 12 Kofo, Kasumu Street, Lagos Estate, Amuwodofi in Lagos. So, due to unforeseen circumstances, all inconveniences are highly regretted. Announcer Ahmed M. Kumshe, Professor, FCA, Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. To also let our online viewers know that our next episode on ICAN on Air is on Thursday, April 14, 2022. It will be at 6 o'clock West African time on all ICAN social media channels, the Facebook, the YouTube. We want to tell somebody to say to somebody else to join you. Come and share from the tap of knowledge that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria is giving to Nigeria and friends of Nigeria who are professionals. And the topic we are going to be looking at will be soft skills, business environment, and the accountancy profession. Guesting with us will be Bim Oshusami, BA, MSc, FCCA, FCA. She is a pioneering visionary for change and learning with a focus on helping individuals and organizations to create the future they want while enjoying the experience. She holds the abiding philosophy that to be effective, technically sound accountants require other essential non-financial related skills. A past UK district chairman of ICAN. Also, she is an examiner for an international and reputable professional organization. Bim is a member of the board of corporation of Barking and Dagenham, where she also serves as the chairman of the audit committee. A highly sought after motivational speaker, one with a sonorous voice, velvet voice, I dare say. You do not want to miss her next Thursday. Please make sure you come join and be a part of this knowledge sharing. And so I leave you with my nuggets for today. And I quote, treat your password like toothbrush. Don't let anybody else use it and get a new one every 6 months. End of quote. That is attributable to Clifford Stolley. And so the sun sets on our ICAN on Air offering for today to rise again on Thursday, April 14, 2022. As I always say, be the change you would like to see. And until then, I remain Akin Fatunke, your anchor. ICAN on air. Bye for now.